We have 30 seconds.
Fine.
But
Wow. All right, so
I'm so sorry, our time's up, but it was lovely.
You're coming back to Supernatural finally
Yes.
in a couple of episodes, and they've already revealed that your character's a healer, so it's a little bit different than Castiel.
Really?
But-
Why are they telling all these secrets?
Because they love me and they just tell me everything. But what I was going to ask you is, since we know he's a
Unbelievable.
little
These
bit
people.
different, how is his attitude towards Dean and Sam different?
Well, his attitude, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to trick me into revealing secrets.
I am.
His attitude towards Sam and Dean is very different when he first returns. He has a sort of arc in his first episode that goes from being quite a bit more naive than we remember him to being very contrite.
Okay.
So he still is somewhat infused with Castiel then, if he's contrite.
Why are you trying to get me to tell secrets?
Because you opened with one.
Yes, yes, he is. He is certainly infused with Castiel.
How did you feel about, and did you have any special effects going on in your costume with last season's where Castiel got infiltrated by the Leviathans and you were sort of roiling?
Did I go through any kind of special effects stuff? No, not really. I mean, there was a scene where I was looking in a bathroom in a mirror, bathroom mirror, and I opened my shirt and you can see the hands sort of pushing out the skin from my abdomen. I actually had to just swallow some small people, and they pushed out, and then 4 hours later, it was actually quite a painful process getting them
So you
out.
prefer method?
Yeah.
And so
But-
which is worse, the small people or all those hamburgers?
The hamburgers were worse, yeah. Yeah, so there was some. I mean, the other thing is I was sicker than I've ever been on set when we were shooting the scene where Cass actually gets taken over by the Leviathan, and they were like putting this black goop in my ears and in my mouth, and like I had to spill it out, and I was just sort of eyeing a trash can the whole time, like, all right, am I going to be able to make this, or am I going to throw up again? So that was pretty awful, as bad as it gets. But
Oh, excuse
Yeah,
me.
go
Sorry.
no, that's all right. I was,
Okay, I'm sorry.
if you don't want to hear my scatological stories, that's fine.
Do you your character of Castiel? Do you base him on any kind of do you have any character reference? Do you base him on, or is that just your invention? Or?
I mean, I think that Cass definitely. I started with a few seeds when the character first came on. Some of them were sown by the producers and directors on Supernatural, who gave me a few hints. Like, he's very wise. He's been around for thousands of years, but human beings are kind of still alien to him, and so he has a certain curiosity about them. And so I had a few seeds like that. And I also definitely used sort of elements of my brother's personality. My brother has this very kind of open, inquisitive kind of quality. So I used a little bit of him in the very beginning. And then he just sort of changed over time and had to become more human and more jaded and more disappointed in himself and then more of a deity eventually, which I don't know how one prepares for that. I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go and say the words at this point because it's too much. But yeah. But, it's fun having a character for that long because you get to, it morphs and evolves and, so you do start with things and then you just sort of let it transform over time.
Through the evolution of Cass, are there aspects that you miss from his inception to now, or till the last time we saw him?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's sort of like, do you miss qualities of your old former self?
So do you definitely think?
I'm asking you a question.
Oh, well, I mean, a little bit, but I wouldn't be who I am.
Exactly.
Okay,
So it's
so-
sort of like he cumulatively becomes who he is, but there were certain things like that were just fun to do. I mean, it was fun to play drunk Cass. That was fun because I don't know why that was so fun.
Do you think that added?
Maybe I have
Were
a
you drunk
problem.
for that?
I was no drunker than normal when we were shooting that scene. So
That was acting.
yeah.
Is there anything from your experience with Divine that you're going to bring back to Supernatural, to the web series?
No, not that immediately pops to mind. But you know, everything that you work on, you unconsciously or unconsciously, you take something away and you know move on to the next thing. They're finally demolishing the Watchmen. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
They built this huge exterior sort of town up in Vancouver that Supernatural has been using for a couple of years, or 3-4 years since the Watchmen movie left, and it's just this facade kind of, but there's some sort of interior rooms, and it's all kind of crumbling down. I was standing like outside next to the movie marquee that's on the corner of this fake little downtown area, and this big ceiling tile just fell right next to me. Like it's all crumbling down, and it's just sitting and getting rained on and snowed on, and it's a total death trap. And like floors were falling in and stuff like that, and I was like, why we're still shooting here? It's unbelievable. I guess evidently it was super cheap. and Divine shot there as well. Like everything sort of shoots there because it's super cheap. You get a town for free, kind of. But eventually, just a few months ago, apparently, the city came in and inspected the place, and they were like, people can't be here. This is not safe. So we no longer have that town, that Divine shared with Supernatural, and Smallville, and every other show that shoots up there.
Now, you did a telefilm for Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
Did you sort of feel like, I have now made it as a cult person? Is that sort of the mark of when you made it cult TV?
I try to be modest about it, but it's very difficult to be humble when you've saved the world like I did in Stonehenge Apocalypse. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Great film, one of the greats of all time, I would say. I think it's now on AFI's top 100 films of all time list, actually.
But just in terms of sci-fi going, we feel that you are a marquee name in the sci-fi TV community?
I guess so. I mean, yep. I don't know. Yep. Definitely not the kind of thing that you, like, as a child, think, all right, one day I'm going to prevent Stonehenge from destroying the world. You just don't think that, but it happens from time to time.
Clearly you were not raised as a druid.
No, I wasn't.
But you will teach your son
No,
better.
I wasn't. I was raised as a druid. I was raised as a Wiccan. So, yeah, it's very different.
So earlier today, Guy was saying that he's coming back to shoot 7.
Everything he says is a lie.
Well, he was saying he hopes that you're in 722 because that's what he's shooting.
Yeah.
So are you not hoping to be in
Well,
722?
he was lying about that, too, because we hate working with each other. So
That was my question was,
yeah.
Would you like to come back and work with Guy, and what you may have learned from him as a director?
Well, I mean, I've learned from Guy B that certain people, they'll give you advice and you just don't want to listen to it. You know, there's some people who will make recommendations that are just wrong, and that's the takeaway from Guy B.
So what was one recommendation that you decided not to take?
Well, Guy, when he first came on Supernatural, he wanted Cass to do everything pantsless, and
With the trench coat.
Yeah.
and at first it seemed like, oh, great idea, but we shot a couple of scenes, and it was middle of February up in Vancouver, and it was just too cold. So, bad idea. Now, in hindsight, obviously, that was stupid, but you just have to pay attention and not listen to everything that Guy says.
But do you think that there is room for your healer character in 722?
You're trying to find out whether
I am.
I'm in 722.
Well, I'm trying to find out if they leave it open for you to return.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know, maybe. Maybe not. Are you beckoning me? Is that what that movement is?
I know, he's trying to get, 2 more quick questions.
Did you know that you were going to come back when they said Cass is going to take a dip in the lake now, or did you think that might be the end of your tenure?
I thought it might be the end, but they never sort of make guarantees on Supernatural. But it was certainly something that they talked about at that point. Like, maybe we're going to try to figure out a way to work Cass back in toward the end of the season. But he's going to be gone for a while. So they sort of stayed true to their word. Yeah.
So with playing Jimmy, playing Castiel, now you're coming back, what are the different things you've done to prepare for each reemergence of you being on the show?
I think each time it's a little bit different preparing like a new character. You just which I don't know how to do, but I think that if one were doing it right, that's what they would do, for sure. Yeah.
Can you just really quickly before you leave?
She said 2 questions. Oh my God, these are very
I think
disobedient group.
I just was
I
gonna
know her.
ask if
When
you
I say
can.
2, it'll be 1 more.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I was just gonna ask if you can talk a little bit about returning to Haiti and what you plan to do there this summer.
30
Oh.
seconds.
Hey, I'm gonna take my sweet
See,
time.
I knew you'd like this question. That's why I asked.
Don't rush me. Yeah, we're going back to Haiti. Random Acts, which is the nonprofit that I co-founded and have been working with for the last couple of years, is making another trip back to Haiti this year. And we started working on a community center and orphanage and dental clinic and collaborating with a couple of other schools for underprivileged kids. I mean, most kids in Haiti are underprivileged by our standards, but desperately underprivileged kids. And we're going back to do more of that same work. And we have really good infrastructure now, so the money is really getting spent well. We have really good crews and really good relationships with a lot of different child service organizations down there in the greater Jacmel, Haiti area. So it's great. I'm really excited to be going back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're taking fans.
Yes, fans are coming. If they raise $5,000 and get themselves there, they are very welcome in our midst. That's all.
Fantastic. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
15 seconds, Gishwitz and Guinness.
Oh yeah, I have a Guinness World Record because I'm awesome.
Oh, that's good, yes.